Before we jump into the episode today, I want to share something with you from my heart. First of all, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really can't tell you how much your support means to me. We've been doing the podcast now for almost 4 years. I can't even believe it. And I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that listens, shares an episode with your friends, sends me a DM or a text message letting me know how an episode resonated with you or any aha moments. Seriously, I couldn't be more grateful to be able to create this podcast. It has been such a blessing in my life, and I love hearing the ways it's been able to provide value in yours as well. One thing you might not know is how much work it takes to be consistent with a podcast. In fact, did you know that the majority of podcasts don't make it past episode number 10? And we are well beyond that. And it's just a lot thinking of the episodes, recording them, editing them, managing the guests, making sure that everything runs smoothly and gets uploaded consistently and regularly. And so that's why I have created an amazing opportunity for you to support the podcast monetarily. And in exchange for that, you will get exclusive premium subscriber content. So for as little as $3 a month, you can become a premium subscriber of the podcast. And every month I will upload new voice-guided workouts and breathwork meditation audio for you. So that way you can work out with me, coaching you in your ears. You can also take a moment to reduce your stress and relax and come down and ground down with one of my breathwork audios. So if that is on your heart to support the podcast for as little as $3 a month to become a premium podcast subscriber, I can't tell you how much that means to me and the growth of this podcast. I appreciate you. If you're interested, click the link in the description, become a premium podcast subscriber, new content every month, and while supplies last, I'll send you an exclusive podcast coffee mug so you can have your self-love and sweat coffee every morning. I appreciate you. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast, the place where you'll get inspired to live your life unapologetically, embrace your perfect imperfections, break down barriers, and do what sets your soul on fire. I'm your host, Lunden Souza. Hey friend, it's me, Lunden Souza, online lifestyle transformation coach. I help people all over the world just like you who know they are meant for more, get their mind right and their body tight, and go from crazy busy to crazy happy. And hey, if it's our first time meeting, welcome. So happy to have you. And if you've been with us for a while, it's so great that you're here too. I'm really excited to share this episode of the Self-Love and Sweat podcast with you. Hey, I wanted to quickly tell you something about this podcast episode. So it's a part of the University of Unlearning 25-day free challenge to reframe your thinking, reclaim the power of your words, and reboot your workout routine. So this is part of that 25-day challenge that was actually videos. So this is the audio extraction and you're listening to it here. So I'm telling you this not only because it's an amazing challenge and you should totally pick it up. You can find the link in the show notes, but because I might at times be referring to something that you would only be able to see in the video if you were watching the video. So I just wanted to let you know that that's where this is from, and you should totally pick up this free challenge and you'll be able to see some of the things that I might be referring to on the screen there. So nonetheless, enjoy this episode and you are amazing. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the University of Unlearning. Today we are talking about to lose weight, you need to eat less and exercise more. Dun, 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 dun. This is
often the way that a lot of us start out on any health and fitness journey, especially when we're trying to lose weight. It's like, we're just going to eat less and exercise more. And that's a great approach, like at the beginning. And it generally works, especially if you're pigging out all the time and eating crappy foods and just eating, a boatload of calories, empty calories, sugary beverages, drinks, kind of all those things. That can really work, for a while, for a little bit. It works. I always say it works for a little while until it doesn't. It works until it doesn't. So I wanted to come on and talk about this as like a myth because, okay, yeah, you can lose weight by eating less and exercising more, but I'm all about longevity. I'm all about what's going to last for long term. I'm all about what's going to be maintainable long term. What's also going to be like fun and enjoyable and not super restrictive and not having you miss out on all the things, right? So that's what I really feel has allowed me to stick to my health and fitness journey. I really started taking it seriously when I was 17. And I'll never forget when a former colleague of mine at Runtastic asked me, he was like, "Hey, Lunden, do you ever take a break from training?" And I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Well, I've been working out a while and training like for a few months. Like, should I take a break?" And I'm like, "Well, yes and no. Like, are you taking breaks throughout the week? How does your body feel? Are you exhausted? Like, are you beat? Are you doing too much?" He's like, "No, I feel good." I'm like, "All right, well, keep going. Fitness is for life. We got to keep on keeping on. We're not just like training for something and then stopping, So when I look at when it comes to eating less and exercising more, I want to unpack it and look at it a little bit more. So that way it's not a vicious cycle we continuously find ourselves in, right? So it's like we eat less, exercise more, eat less, exercise more. And then that sometimes turns into viewing our body more like a calculator. Like, okay, I ate a little bit extra, like 300 calories extra. So I'm going to burn off 300 more calories, right? And we end up in this like tug of war game. And I just don't like the way that sits. I don't coach like that. I don't want to be coached like that. That back and forth, okay, you did this, now do this to kind of cancel it out. It's just like a recipe for disaster hormonally. But then it's also just like, we got things to be doing rather than thinking about that all day long. We don't need to be obsessing about numbers and calories and all the things. Like, we have purpose to execute here today, right? So I just don't like the obsession with numbers that comes with that there. Is there a time where, yeah, you need to be like eating less potato chips, put the chips down and go and like get up and move and exercise more and eat less, right? But like I said, it often turns into we need to be exercising more than we're consuming. And yeah, that is true to a certain extent as well. But like, if you're eating, 4,000 calories a day of whatever, and then you go down to like 1,500 calories of cookies, like, you'll be eating less and you'll lose weight, but you're not going to feel good. You're going to feel like crap. You're going to sleep like crap. You're not going to have energy. You're going to have brain fog like through the roof, So I don't like talking about that when it comes to numbers. I like to talk about making sure we're increasing our movement overall and that we're eating in the way that we're, eating when we're hungry and we're not when we're full. And sometimes that's a little bit more and a little bit less. Now, does that come with practice and guidance and coaching and learning? Totally. Totally. That's why I'm all about longevity. So that's why when I'm like coaching my clients, I'm like, hey, we're in this together. We're in this for the long run. We're going to learn tools and strategies that will be ready and available to you and useful and valuable for you now. And then in other seasons there of your life there. Right. So when it comes to working out, there's two components. There's NEAT and EAT. There's non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is like walking, fidgeting, using your hands when you talk, getting up, grabbing some water, going to the bathroom, moving around, gardening, doing the dishes, like the stuff that's not working out, but you're still moving a lot. And then there's exercise activity thermogenesis, which is our workouts, right? So we have both. We have like all the movement we're doing extra and then our workout time. The problem is that even when people decide that they're going to work out, they just focus on the EAT and they just focus on the exercise activity thermogenesis and not on all the other movement that they're doing throughout the day. Okay. So when you start upping your NEAT and you're going on periodic walks, you're taking the long way, you're taking the stairs, you're setting alarms in your phone to get up and move on a regular basis, and you're doing your workouts. Okay. That's where the real magic happens because you have both there, right? The NEAT is over 80% of our metabolism. Yet we're focusing so much on, did I get my 20-minute workout in? Did I get my hour-long workout in? Did I carve out enough time? No, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Now you can see why I'm just like, get up and move. Go for a walk, do some jumping jacks, like literally just move your body as often and as frequently as you can on a regular basis. And that's going to be really important. So I'd rather develop the mindset with my clients and with you guys that says like, okay, am I setting aside time like 3 to 5 days a week for my workouts? Yes. Am I consistently hitting like an 8 to 10,000 steps per day goal? Am I moving enough? Am I setting alarms in my phone to remind me to get up and move throughout the day when I'm sitting down at my desk at home? Am I making sure that I am understanding and learning that here's how you train throughout the week? You don't just hit legs every single day if you want to, improve your legs. You train them a couple times a week. You make sure you rest and you recover and all that kind of stuff. So that's like the type of stuff I like to teach when it comes to workouts. And we can focus on that versus how many calories did I burn? What does it say on the machine? This is me on the elliptical or the people on the elliptical, right? Just go and waiting for this number to show up that equates if their workout was worth it or not. And if they negated the food that they're going to eat, right? So now you can see really how I think or how I teach and coach there and why I feel like that's such more of a sustainable approach every day. Is today a day I'm going to work out? Yes or no? Is it a workout day? Is it your rest day? Whatever. Okay, how am I going to incorporate more NEAT into my life? Just because it's a rest day. I mean, some rest days are nice just to sit on your butt all day and like watch some Netflix and chill and relax, whatever. But like even on your rest days when you're not working out, like get up and walk, like move around. Like just because it's your rest day doesn't mean you're like unable to do like some arm circles or some stretches or foam rolling or a squat here and there, like whatever, it doesn't have to be so like rigid. But think about that and say like, okay, instead of thinking about what number is on the elliptical in terms of calories burned, is the day that I'm going to get in a workout? Yes or no? Okay, where am I going to fit in all the extra movement throughout the day? And I, teach my clients to set the reminders in their phone, set the reminders in their calendar. We have step goals. Like those are like the basic foundational stuff. That's awesome. It's the stuff you can always come back to. People are like, oh yeah, 10,000 steps per day. No, you got to be intentional for that. You got to be getting up and moving. That just doesn't happen from just like walking around periodically throughout the day. You got to be going for walks and make time for that. And so figuring out how to fit in that time for the workouts and understanding the difference between NEAT versus EAT and why walking is so important and all of that is the stuff I like to teach instead of how many calories did you burn? I don't know. We're all different. Male, female, different weights, different fitness levels. There's no possible way for accuracy there, like real accuracy, so I don't really give those numbers there. And then with food, like I said, yeah, sometimes it's a matter of eating less, but some people are so restricted, like they've been, on 1,000, 1,200 calorie diets, just eating less, exercising more, that it's not a matter of eating any less. Like eating any less would be scary and detrimental and unhealthy. And in fact, it already for some people might be if they're in extreme calorie restricted diets, but adding in more food gives your body that peace and that balance and that a little bit more of that homeostasis it's looking for, where it's like, okay, yeah, I can let go of some of this weight because I'm not starving. Our body, if we're going to, deprive, our metabolism is going to slow down. Our body's not going to want to burn fat because it's going to want to preserve that fat and store that fat for energy. But when we're giving our body, just enough calories, not too many, not too little, in a way that, really feels good and sits right with our bodies, then our body's not under that constant state of stress. It doesn't feel like it's deprived. It doesn't feel like, oh, I should hold on to this. It's like, no, we're good. Can let some of that extra baggage go. Well-oiled machine, like keep on keeping things kind of going through there. So you can see how consistently restricting more and more can, really have some damaging effects. And you get to a point where it's like, okay, well, your options are not really to eat less. It's like, let's focus on a bit more walking and a bit more stress reducing exercises. And let's increase caloric intake and increase the foods that you're eating. So that way your body's not in a constant stressed phase because it's not getting enough food. Let's understand nutrition and what protein and carbohydrates do in the body and how important healthy fats are, and fiber and digestion and reducing stress and quality sleep and hydration. Like, friends, there's so much that go into that. And so there's no really, one size fits all approach there. And I feel like this is the go-to for a lot of people. It's like, I need to lose weight. Okay, I'm going to eat less, exercise more. Okay, like I said, if you've been pigging out, chowing down, and not moving, cool. But you know what I mean? When we get in that mindset of like calories in, calories out, calories in, calories out, you'll never win. Your body will always win. Like, you cannot fight against your hormones and metabolism. It'll just be like, like, forget you. Trust me, I know. So I definitely worked out a ton, way too much. Didn't take the time for recovery as much as I needed and should. And so that wreaked havoc on my digestive system. And I would eat, a cheat meal or whatever. I hate that word, but just in general, like something just a bit heavier. And I'd feel like super bloated, super uncomfortable. It was just really just kind of an uncomfortable cycle there. But when you understand more about nutrition, learn and grow in that area, learn and grow about your body and its, your physical body, and how we can't just be sitting on our asses all day long, you guys. Like, we're in home office. I know things are hard and a lot of us can't even go outside that much, but we have to keep moving and we have to keep moving our bodies. It's not about, how many calories did I burn versus how much did I consume? It's important to be mindful of that, but have your main focus be on education and on growth and on learning and unlearning. So that way you can kind of unpack that and think critically and really figure out, hey, what works for me? And that's really what I do, because unpacking all of that and figuring out what works for you is not fun alone. In fact, my best piece of coaching advice ever is don't do it alone. Like, don't do it alone. So I'll put all the links down below on how you can get connected if you're interested in VIP coaching or my Mind, Body, Love program with coaching. It's kind of a hybrid program of kind of predefined coaching with some coaching calls with me. And the VIP is like fully customized, fully for people who are super ready to take action to up-level their life in all areas. And so I'm just super excited about this topic and about these whole 25 days, to be honest, because I think this is a vicious cycle that a lot of people can get themselves into. And then I also feel like, okay, well, what better, year than 2020 to start learning and questioning and understanding and growing, in that space and really tuning in and figuring out what works best for your body. So yes, to a certain extent, losing weight requires, moving more and eating a little bit less. But let's focus on learning and understanding the body and understanding nutrition and what those different nutrients are doing. And in my Mind, Body, Love 6-week starter kit program, it breaks down all of the nutrients and everything, what they're doing. And for my VIP clients, you get access to all of that as well. And then you can really understand and learn and say like, oh, this is why, because of this, not because someone told me or I thought this is what I was supposed to do or what I should do, but because I learned about it, I thought about it, I tested it out for me, and I decided if it sat right with me or not. Right? In a society where we always want people to tell us what to do and tell us where to go and all the things, can be a little bit of a tough one, but creating it for yourself is just so much better, and it sticks long-term. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode, I guess, if you will, or this video of University of Unlearning. And I'll see you guys next time. You're awesome. Keep rocking it. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast. Hey, do me a favor. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, give us a review. This really helps a lot. And share this with a friend. I'm only one person, and with your help, we can really spread the message of self-love and sweat and change more lives all around the world. I'm Lunden Souza, reminding you that you deserve a life full of passion, presence, and purpose, fueled by self-love and sweat.